I had another amazing game week in FPL and I plan to use that momentum to get an even bigger green arrow in game week 15. So let's see how I'm lining up. Guys, welcome back to another video. Make sure you like and subscribe and let's get right into it. Now, two things really quick. It's not going to be a super in-depth video because I'm quite busy at work on Wednesdays and Thursdays and I'm also a little bit under the weather. So I'm sure you guys can cut me some slack there. As of right now, when I'm recording this, it is a Thursday before Bruno and Mbeumo have played. So I'm going to pass you over to future FPL Bodus, who is going to take you through an honest game week 14 reaction after Bruno and Mbeumo have played. So take it away. What is up, guys? Future Bodus here. There really wasn't much worth waiting for. I got a combined total of 6 points between Bruno and Mbeumo. With that being said, they got me from 13.5k overall to 10.5k overall. They're very outskirts of the top 10k, which is very exciting. We went from 18k overall to just outside the top 10k. So a very good game week overall, another successful game week. And I have one man to thank. That is Phil Foden. Well, also Daniel Munoz and Dan Burn, you know, the two Daniels, they also did very well for me. And we can't forget Haaland, obviously. Timber and Welbeck both got rotated, which is annoying. They both got 1 point, especially since Arsenal kept a clean sheet and Brighton ended up scoring 3 goals. I could have had some points from those two, but it is good in the sense that they are both likely to start on the weekend, especially Welbeck home to West Ham. That's a really good fixture, even though Man United made it look really difficult. So hopefully he can get me some points there along with Timber and redeem themselves for what they did last game week by sitting on the bench. More on Foden. He got me 32 points since the 2 game weeks I brought him in, averaging 16 points per game for me. He has been crucial, right? I went from 43k overall in 2 game weeks to top 10k. Well, not top 10k, you know what I'm trying to say, you know, 43k to 10k, that's an unreal jump. And Phil Foden as a differential has been nothing but amazing for me. It's probably the best transfer I've ever made in FPL. So yeah, it is quite lucky with Phil Foden because I didn't expect him to do that well. With Daniel Munoz, I think if you don't own him, it's kind of your fault. Like, I've been preaching about this guy non-stop, saying how his underlying data is way too good for a defender that's not even 6 million. And he keeps scoring, he keeps proving me right. So at that point, you could call it luck, but I kind of saw it coming. You know, I knew Munoz was going to score way too many goals, and he's currently the 2nd highest scorer in FPL behind Haaland. So, yeah, if you missed out on him, it's unfortunate, but I kind of have to say I told you so. So, yeah, in conclusion, amazing game week. I'm going to pass you guys back to present tense Bodus to take you through his team for game week 15. Peace out. Alright guys, it's me, regular Bodus is back. So, let's see how I use my 1 free transfer and how I'm lining up for game week 15. In goal we have Sanchez, who I don't have a lot of hope for, but goalkeeper transfers are a waste of time, so I have left him in here. He could still keep a clean sheet. We don't know. I don't have much hope for it though. In defence, we have Timber. Now, he did get rotated in the midweek when he played in game week 14, which means he's almost guaranteed to start on the weekend. Hopefully I don't jinx myself. Last game week it was annoying, as you know, I missed out on the clean sheet points, but this game week I really don't see it happening. And next to him we have Munoz, who has been one of the best transfers I've made all season alongside Phil Foden. Incredibly happy with him. He's got 1 more game left in my team before I get 5 free transfers. When he goes on to a tough fixture run, so hopefully away to Fulham, he can end on the bang. But even if he blanks and doesn't do anything, I'm really not going to mind because he's done so well for me recently. To finish off that back 3, we have Dan Burn playing home to Burnley. Dan Burn's been really good to me recently. Well, I say really good. He's not been amazing. He's got a couple of returns in the last couple of game weeks. One of those returns, he was on my bench. So he's been all right for me. Playing home to Burnley is the easiest fixture in the league by a long shot, easier than home to Wolves. So I'm hoping Burn can turn up for me and just get me, you know, a 6-pointer. I wouldn't mind. It's fine. You know, if he wants to get DEFCONs or some bonus points, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't expect it. Going into midfield, we have Bruno away to Wolves and Mbeumo away to Wolves as well. The double Manchester United attack returns yet again. Fairly easy fixture, so I'm pretty optimistic for it, but we'll see how it goes. Man United are a little inconsistent, and while Wolves are one of the worst teams in the league, they don't struggle a lot defensively, so I don't see a ton of goals in this game for Man United, but I do see at least, you know, 2. Hopefully, fingers crossed. This will be Mbeumo's last game week in my team. Guys, he's heading off to AFCON very soon, and I will miss him. He's done very well for my team and many of your teams also, so thank you, Mbeumo. You served me well. Hopefully we end on a good note. As for Bruno, he's been in my team since game week 1 and he's probably going to be there in game week 38. I don't see myself selling him anytime soon. We have Phil Foden now. Phil Foden has done absolutely nothing all season up until the last 2 game weeks. He's got 32 points in 2 game weeks. And guess which lucky guy brought him in 2 game weeks ago? Me. I did it. Now, I could say it was calculated. I mean, technically I brought him in because I thought he was going to get points. And I brought him in. He got some points. To be honest, I would have been happy with 12 points over the last 2 game weeks for Phil Foden. I didn't expect a load from him. You know, his underlying data was decent and his fixture run was decent, but it wasn't 16 points per game average decent. And that's what he's doing for me so far. So, mate, if you want to keep it up, Phil Foden, be my guest. I will not complain. I'm very happy to have you in my team. You are the sole reason I've jumped up so much in the ranks recently. We then have Semenyo, who we did hold on to, which a few of you may be surprised by. The reason I'm keeping Semenyo is because he's not a rotation risk, you know. Like I said, last game week, a few players got rested and it means they're safe for this game week. But some players that started aren't going to be safe. With that being said, I do believe everyone I've named so far will be starting. I'm not really worried about anyone's minutes in this team so far. But there was someone in the front three I was skeptical about starting, which you guys already know. And that is the player I did sell. So we're holding Semenyo. I don't expect a load from him, but he's a good player. He could return, you know. His fixture's not easy, but it's also not insanely hard. So I'm happy to hold on to him, especially because his ownership is still going to be quite high, despite the amount of people that are selling him. Into the front three, we sold Mateta, which is a huge risk, by the way, playing away to Fulham, because I think he might not start, and even if he does, he's on bad form. Instead, we are going for Voltemada, who plays home to Burnley. An amazing positional lineup because Burnley concede a lot of expected goals to strikers, and obviously it's a very good fixture in general. And Voltemada has been alright this season. I've got a lot of hope for him. And even after that, he plays away to Sunderland in game week 16, and Sunderland don't do too well against strikers either. So Voltemada is good for the short to medium term. I'm very happy to bring him in. As you guys can see, if you've been watching my videos the past few game weeks, you'll see I've been playing very aggressive with the free transfers, selling people who don't necessarily need to be sold just to take advantage of short-term fixture runs. Because I still have my wild card left and I'm getting free transfers in game week 16, I see no reason not to. There is every chance Mateta still scores, and you know, he might get more points than Voltemada, but I highly doubt it. I think Voltemada is going to do a lot better than Mateta in game week 15 and maybe towards the future as well. Next to him, we have held on to Welbeck. Like I said in the game week results, Welbeck is probably not going to be rotated because he was rotated last game week. If he's just gone and lost his striker spot after scoring nearly a goal a game for 5 games in a row, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to feel hard done by, because that's not what any manager should do. I'm assuming he was benched on the Wednesday because of squad rotation, and that is the most likely scenario. Obviously, it's not guaranteed, but I really hope my striker is starting home to West Ham. That would be useful because his ownership is fairly low as well. And to no one's surprise, we are captaining Erling Haaland home to Sunderland. Very good fixture, a player with obviously very good underlying data and on, you know, all right form. He's an all right player. We all know that. He's pretty good. So I feel safe with him as my captain. And I think every single active FPL manager also feels comfortable with Haaland as their captain. Anyway, guys, that is the team. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. You are greatly appreciated, and I will see you all in the next video.